Hey guys, Break here. Welcome back to another profession guide. Today we're going to be talking about enchanting in Battle for Azeroth, which I think is the best gold making profession in the expansion. It's really good, and I'm going to be explaining everything about it in this video. So as with all the professions, enchanting did go through some changes in Battle for Azeroth, and we've got a few different things. So the weapon enchants did make a return. Obviously we didn't have them in Legion, probably because of the artifact and all that, but we of course have our weapon enchants. We have our ring enchants as before. Our wrist enchants you cannot sell, they are just for the enchanter, so they're a bit irrelevant. So our main ones are our ring and our weapon enchants. You can then get glove enchants, but they aren't such big sellers or such high profits. Those are just some random ones like increase your crafting or your herbalism. And the crafting one's actually pretty useful because it does speed up, especially if you do a lot of crafting, so I suggest you get that. But your main sellers will be the ring and the weapon enchants. So in terms of leveling up, enchanting is a bit more tricky than the other professions in my opinion. That's mostly because it's quite expensive. So it is fairly expensive to level up when you first start. It's nowhere near as bad as it was at the start of Legion, but still, because the price of Veiled Crystal is still over 1,000 gold region average, it means that the price of leveling up enchanting is a bit higher than normal. But once you can get it up and get to decent ranks for the different enchants, then you're going to be making some profit unless you're on a super high pop server. And even then, you can still make some really good profit with enchanting that we will cover later. But yeah, like I say, a bit harder to level up, but once it's leveled, you're definitely not going to regret it. And again, similar to the other professions, the ranks for enchanting are a mixture of both getting revered with different factions and getting world quests done, the work order world quests that will often give you a rank as well. So it's a mixture of those two for enchanting, and it's fairly quick. I've hardly tried to do it at all, and I've got pretty much all rank 3s, apart from a couple that I've probably just missed the world quest on. But yeah, it's fairly easy to get the high ranks, and the ranks are fairly important because, like I say, enchanting mats are very expensive, and if you can narrow down the mats required to make an item, you're going to be making a lot more profit. Now, in terms of the materials actually needed in enchanting, there are 3 main ones, which are Gloom Dust, Umber Shard, and Veiled Crystal. So Veiled Crystal and Umber Shard are both very expensive. Umber Shard is like 300 gold, and you often require quite a few of them in the enchants. Veiled Crystal is the one that used to be crazy, and is still like 1,000 gold. So they're fairly expensive again. This isn't the most noob-friendly profession in terms of the amount of gold it requires, but it also has quite nice profits, so it's a bit of a mixture there. And then obviously Gloom Dust is the third one, and that's a more normal price for a material. At the moment on my server, only 18 gold. So those are the 3 things that you need to get used to with enchanting. The other things you can make from BFA are the Enchanter's Sorcerer's Scepter, which is just a wand. In fact, there are a couple of wands you can make, and they're both a bit useless. I don't think they're going to sell for too much because no one really likes a wand, but maybe on your server they will. And then you can make the Disenchanting Rod. Now this is actually pretty good, guys. It's probably the best thing for the followers out of all of them, at least what I've found. Haven't done very scientific research, but it's pretty good because if you attach this to one of your followers, it can sometimes bring back up to 10 Veiled Crystals from a mission. Okay, it's pretty rare that it will do that, but 10 Veiled Crystals from a mission, that's 10k gold. And it will also bring back like 15 of the Umber Shards, which again, that's like 5k gold from a mission. So that can happen, guys. So it is really good, and it's very expensive to make because it costs 30 Expulsum and 5 Veiled Crystal and a Hydra Core. So it's fairly expensive to make, but if you want to put it on your followers, I would suggest doing that. And you can also sell this on the auction house, and it's a pretty good seller as well. At the moment on my server, it's making a pretty nice profit. If we go down with TSM, here we are, it's making 27k profit because it's selling for 44 and it costs 17k to make. And that's with my Expulsum valued at like 500 gold, which it probably shouldn't be. I could value it way lower than that. So the profit on these is pretty big, so they're a bit annoying to make, but you know, don't be afraid to try and, number one, put these on your followers because, like I say, returning a mission with 10 Veiled Crystals is very rare, but when it happens, you're going to be very excited. And also, do sell these on the auction house, and yeah, not many people are selling them at the moment, and they do actually sell. They have a quite high sale rate, and you would be surprised at the profit you can make with these. So that's a good thing, and I'm on a very high pop server and the profit's still there, so for you guys it will likely be there as well. Now, one of the main reasons I think enchanting is such a good profession is because of the disenchanting function. Of course, this has always been here, and what you do whenever you get a piece of gear, you can disenchant it if you don't like it. For example, what have we got here? We've got a random 340 from an emissary I just did. Don't want it, and this is why enchanting is so good on your main, because you can disenchant it. We just got a veiled crystal and an umbra shard. Overall, that's 1,500 gold. So we just got 1,500 gold from disenchanting one bit of rubbish. Now, if you guys think about how many random purple bits of gear you get on your main, say you run through all the mythic dungeons for the week, or perhaps you go do some LFR or something, go do some random heroics even, or just spam some world quests, you get quite a few purples. If you do PvP, you get even more. And if you can get 1,500 gold every time you disenchant one, it really does add up. You're talking about like 5 to 10k a day extra just from doing nothing. You know, that adds up to 50k a week or 200k a month. Basically a WoW token extra from doing basically nothing but disenchanting random things. And even the blue items, guys, while they're nowhere near as good, you can still disenchant and you get an umbra shard and some gloom dust. That's still 400 gold just from disenchanting a random blue item. So the raw gold, pretty much raw gold potential, is so good with these because you can disenchant anything you find, quickly sell it on the auction house, and it's basically just a raw gold farm. So it's really, really useful. So the final thing about the BFA before we look at the rest of enchanting, I mean, the BFA Enchanting, the main things are the ring enchants and the weapon enchants. Particularly the weapon enchants, they're pretty good. And obviously the ring enchants. And at the moment they're selling for a real nice profit on my server. It's not actually usually this high, but over 1,000 gold for a lot of the ring enchants is really, really good. And you can sell a lot of these in a day because they are very much needed. And even the weapon enchants, not quite as much, but still almost 1,000 gold for a lot of the weapon enchants, which is really good. So the key to making gold with enchanting, guys, is getting your veiled crystals cheap and getting your umbra shards cheap. Yeah, well, and the gloom dust, but particularly the umbra shard and the veiled crystal. So what you guys want to do if you have TSM is run some shopping scans and get a sort of keen eye for the price of the umbra shard and the veiled crystal on your server. And then you want to buy them when it's cheap. You can spam in trade chat, want to buy veiled crystal, 900 gold each, or want to buy umbra shard, 250 gold each or something. Just buy it for a cheaper price than your market price on your server. And what that's going to do is it's going to ensure that you can make profit every single time you enchant. The main problem I find with people who don't make gold with enchanting is that they only just randomly go and buy the enchant on the auction house when it's necessary, when they're actually doing their crafting, and they've just got to hope that the price happens to be low, and it probably won't be, and then they don't make any gold. But if you can buy them cheap, or you can get them yourself from disenchanting gear, that's why I always say get enchanting on your main character. There's no reason why not to do that. Get enchanting on your main, and you're going to have some really good time. And it's really actually quite an easy profession. Once you get over the fact that it's quite expensive to get into, the profession itself is fairly easy. Anyways, we also have a lot of old world enchants that sell very, very well. You would think with enchanting it's not really like the transmog professions like blacksmithing or tailoring. You can't add anything to your wardrobe really, apart from the Tome of Illusions. So why would it be so good at low level? Well, people who are leveling alts often buy the low level enchants to enchant their gear. Particularly some of the low level weapon enchants and stuff from like Pandaria and WoD, people always buy. Enchant weapon elemental force, for example. That's one example of things that people will buy. And there we go, it sells for 400 gold each. Look at that sale rate. Really, really, really high. Really high. In fact, the sale rate is higher than the Zandalari. The sale rate for this Panda enchant is higher than the BFA enchant. So you're going to get more sales of a Pandaria enchant than you are from a BFA enchant, which is pretty ridiculous, but it just shows how popular the old world enchants are, and there's quite a few of them that are good. Now, some of the Legion ones will still sell, but I wouldn't bother crafting them unless they have a really high profit, because obviously they're going to sell a lot slower than before. But the relics are something that will still sell, because some people still get their artifacts, they're leveling through Legion, they might want to buy some relics. So again, they'll sell slow, but they'll still sell. You obviously always have the pets for enchanting, and some toys occasionally. And the enchanting pets do sell as well, very slowly, but they still sell. Now the Draenor enchants do sell quite well, weirdly, don't really know why, and so do the Panda ones, as I've said before, always sell good. People who are leveling alts like to get them and all that. River's Song selling for 8k profit, which is ridiculous. So these all sell really well, and obviously we couldn't talk about enchanting unless we talked about the Tome of Illusions. So the Tome of Illusions are things that people often forget about with enchanting, but make me so much gold. If you've watched any of my Gold Cap Challenge series, always make gold with these. They're such a good seller. Basically, they are transmog for your weapon. So they're like a weapon enchant transmog. And there's ones for every single expansion. So to get them, you have to go and learn them from the specific expansion trainer. So when you're learning Northrend Enchanting, you go and learn the Tome of Illusion Northrend from that guy. Same for all of the others. And now there are a couple of harder ones to get. So Tome of Illusion Secrets of the Shadow Pan, that requires Exalted with the Shadow Pan to get. So again, this is another reason why you want enchanting on your main character, because you're more likely to have these random reps exalted on your main, and if you're not, you can go back and farm them. I'm not going to tell you how to farm them here, but you can always look up a guide on Wowhead or whatever. But Secrets of the Shadow Pan requires exalted with Shadow Pan, and Secrets of the Elemental Lords, what I'm pretty sure requires exalted with Therazane in Cataclysm, but you guys can go double check that. But again, these ones are harder to get, but they sell for more profit because a lot less people have them. So really, really good. And again, these are quite expensive to make sometimes because some of the materials, like the Wild Jades, they often go for quite a lot on some servers. But Tome of Illusions do sell, and the good thing about these is when they sell, someone often buys the entire lot. They're like, right, I want to fill out my transmog weapon enchant collection, and they'll buy every single tome. And if you're the cheapest at the time, you've just made yourself, what, like 15k or something like that. So really, really good, the Tome of Illusions. Definitely don't forget about them. And don't forget about the Shadow Pan and the Elemental Lords, because those are often better than the others. Anyway guys, that is about that. I did a quick crafting with my TSM Enchanting group, and look at the queue. 237k, so like I say, it is expensive to get into Enchanting, but a 210k profit, so pretty much 100% profit. We put in 237, we get back 447 or 210k profit, so that's a lot, and a lot of these will sell very quickly. Okay, some of them will be a bit slower, but a lot of them will sell quick, and it's just a very good profession. And like I say, the disenchanting feature to have on your main, particularly this expansion with the enchanting mats still being so valuable for so long. If you're running a lot of PvP, or you're running a lot of dungeons, and you're getting random gear, just disenchant it. I've got all these random pieces I need to disenchant. I'm actually saving them for a video on PvP. But after that, I'm going to disenchant all these, and that's another like 30k, 40k just sitting in my bags. Really, really good. So I will give you guys a link to my paste bin with the updated Enchanting TSM group. So if you guys want an Enchanting TSM group, you can go on my paste bin and download it from there. I will be updating the paste bin with all the different profession groups soon, and doing a TSM guide soon for TSM 4. So if you are waiting for the TSM 4 and all of the updated profession paste bins, then you won't have to wait too long. It is in the works, don't worry. But thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, see ya.